Hey, Hustle and Heart Tribe. My name is Ingrid Bredt, and I'm a Senior Director up here in Canada. And today I am going to share with you some tips on number 5 in our onboarding series called Nailing the Booking Date. So if you've been watching these videos in succession, you would have first watched Kim share with you your why. Why is it that you're doing this business? Then Susie did onboarding video number 2, which was the creating of your who do you know list. KSI, Catherine, did number 3, which has to do with the reach out, some verbiage around what do you say, how do you share. And then Andrea talked in number 4 about the follow-up. And I'm doing number 5, which is getting that booking date in place, nailing the booking date. So here's the thing. Since you started your business, or even if you've been doing it for a while now, you probably have a list of individuals who are interested in doing a party, but for whatever reason, you haven't actually helped them to nail a date yet for a number of reasons. So I want you to get your pen and paper, and hopefully I'm going to give you some tools and some tips to use so that you can move those on your list into your calendar so that you can get busy and get them some great ZYIA stuff by hosting their own party. So the number one thing, and you've probably heard this in every single one of the videos up until now, and you're going to continue to hear it, is talking to people personally. It is so important to actually speak with people because you are building a relationship, and the emotion and in that personal connection when you're talking to one another is so much more effective in actually helping them, you know, to move forward in whatever it is that you're sharing with them, right? So texting is easy to ignore, emails don't always work, but talking to people individually, that relationship starts to build. And when you have a relationship with someone, you know, they're going to be more apt and interested in working with you. So pick up the phone. So there's a couple of ways to get in contact with them. You can text them to start with and say, hey, do you have a minute? Are you free? Can we chat? And they'll either say yes or no. Same with picking up a phone, same thing. When you get them on the phone, let's say Louise is our hostess, and you're like, hey, Louise, it's Ingrid from ZYIA. Listen, I wanted to follow up with you on that booking date. Do you have some time right now? So same thing. They might say, yes, I have time, or no, I have time. So here, in both of these instances, whether you've texted them and they're not available, or whether you get them on the phone and they can't talk right now, you want to try to get them to commit to a time where you can connect with them. So I would say either in the text or on the phone, when would be a good time for us to chat? So instead of just saying, okay, call me later, or okay, I'll phone you later, that kind of leaves it out there. And it can sometimes become a little bit awkward. So, you know, when do I call them back? So you want to say, well, when are you available? Can I chat with you later? And they might say, yeah, give me a call in an hour, give me a call tonight, or whatever it is. You're going to say to them, okay, what time works? I'll call you at that time. And here's the thing, as you're building that relationship, right, you need to follow through with what you promised. So if you say to them, I'll call you later tonight at 7, as they said that would be a good time, or let's say they say Saturday morning's always good. Okay, 9 o'clock too early? No, 9's fine. Okay, I'll call you Saturday at 9. Write it down. Put a reminder in your phone, whatever it is critical to following through with what you promised and giving them a call back at the time that you said you would. Because again, you are building trust. They need to know that they can count on you. And the other thing that it does is it holds you accountable. So just like if you don't get them on the phone and I leave a message, and again, it's like, Louise, I'm so sorry I missed you. I need to chat with you about our booking date. So if I don't get a hold of you, or if you call me back, but if I don't hear from you by tonight, I'll give you a call, you know, after this, or I'll give you a call tomorrow. You tell them when you are going to call them back. So, and a couple of reasons for this as well, because I remember some reps are like, oh, I said I'll call them later, but how much time is like a safe time to call them back without, you know, appearing like a stalker? So if you say I'll call you tomorrow night, or if I don't hear from you, I'll give you a call in the morning at 9, you know, depending on you know, what works for you, you better call them back at that time. And it also holds you accountable. This is another key, because we get so distracted ourselves, right? So you might say, I'll call that person back, and maybe a week goes by. But if you say you're going to call them back the next day, it holds you accountable. You will pick up that phone and you will make that call. And that's how you move your business forward. That's how you keep growing, is you don't put things off. So that's another reason why. So now you're going to get them. Either they're available right now on the phone, or you call them later. And here's the next key. It's been a while, perhaps, since they have expressed interest in booking a party. I don't know, maybe a week, maybe a month. So you need to get them excited, and you need to help them remember why they wanted to book that party in the first place. Because it's kind of like, have you ever gone to the mall and you'll see something that you just absolutely have to have? So let's say you see these smoking red boots and you're like, OMG, I need to have those boots. And for whatever reason, you don't buy them now. Maybe you're not impulsive, and you got to think about it. So then you get home and you're like, I got to have those boots. I totally have to have those boots. And you go to bed that night and you're imagining what you're going to be wearing with those boots, because you're getting those boots. You're so excited. But the next day comes and you're distracted and you keep thinking a little bit about the boots, but you don't have time to get to the mall. Anyways, fast forward a few days later, and those boots are ancient history, because they're just not a priority anymore. You've kind of let it go. But what do you suppose would happen if your friend shows up and plops those red boots in your lap and goes, look what I just got at the mall? And you'll be like, oh my God, I need those boots. And off you go again, getting them. So you need to get that excitement back in them about hosting. So what I typically do is I'll be like, Louise, it's been like 3 or 4 Wednesdays of our new releases since we last talked. You have got to see the new stuff we have. You're just absolutely going to love it. So you're getting them emotionally excited again, right? Or maybe this is a customer that had a wish list of things that she really wanted, and that's why she wanted to book her own show, because you're like, you can get this for free or half price. So remind her about those. It's like, Louise, those joggers that you loved, I want to get those for you, girl. And also that bomber bra, and just remind her about the things that she wanted, so that she gets excited again and remembers why she wanted to book that party. So that's kind of the first thing that I do, is I get them pumped again. So once they're primed and ready and they remember, because you know what? These are amazing products. So they are going to be happy. You are doing them a favor. They are going to be so thrilled. So remember that. So now they're ready. They're totally open. So I'll say to them, okay, girl, let's get this in our calendars. I've got my date book in front of me. Why don't you grab yours and let's find something. So here are my three top hurdles that I have experienced consistently over the years. And I'm pretty sure that if you haven't already, you will fall into some of these as well. So I want to give you some tips as to how I learned to overcome them. And hopefully, you can put them into practice as well, because I found these to be very effective. So the number one hurdle is, Louise will be like, okay, I'm ready. I think I want to do the party in July or next month, but I need to phone my friends. I need to check with my friends on dates first. Okay, great. So what I say to them is, okay, Louise, that's awesome. Next month is going to be perfect. So listen, it's been my experience that while I know you want your friends to be there, what's going to happen, Louise, is when you phone them and say, hey, I'm going to have a ZYIA party, the first thing they're going to ask is, when is it? So why don't we pencil in a date so that you can give that date to your friends? Because not everybody's going to be available no matter what date you pick. And that way you won't have to call them all back again and make this, more complicated than it needs to be. So how about we take a look at a date that works for you, and then you can throw it out to your friends, and where there are other ways that we can get those that can't attend to participate through online and whatnot. But the other thing I'll say is, sometimes, because I get it, right? When you're having these parties, there are a couple of your besties that you're just not going to do it without them. So then I'll say to them, okay, Louise, who are the top 1 or 2 people that you want to make sure are going to be in attendance at your party? So Louise is like, okay, so for sure, Brenda and Sarah can't do this party without them. Totally get it. Okay, so why don't we, again, we'll pencil in a date or two. So pick a couple of dates, and then you're going to give Brenda and Sarah a call, and you're going to ask them, hey, I'm having a ZYIA party. You guys got to come. You're going to love this stuff. But here are the two dates. Do either of them, or maybe both of them, what works for you? Typically, you know, they're going to figure out between the two dates what works for the three of the girls. We already know it's working for Louise, so these other two girls have to pick which ones work for them. And then I'll also give Louise a timeline around this, because otherwise it'll be like, call me when after you've talked to them. Well, when is that going to ever be, right? So I'll say to them, when can you give Brenda and Sarah a call? And so she comes back with, well, I'll see them in yoga tonight, or I can text them right after I get off the phone. Whatever it is, you're going to try to create that sense of urgency. It's like, I got a couple more spots, you know, so let's get this locked and loaded. So can you talk to them today, and can you send me a text tonight or tomorrow morning and let me know which date, you know, is going to be the one that we confirm. So that tends to work really well for them, and it gets them super excited. Now, the second hurdle I come across, and this one I totally get and I can relate to, because I am actually really ADD. So I can get very overwhelmed, and I think it happens to a lot of people as well. It's like, you have every intention to host that party, but the thought of stopping for a moment in your life and actually thinking of what date it's going to, you know, work for, that can be somewhat overwhelming for people, and it's easier to keep putting it off. So what I like to do with these people, and that works for me as well, is to say, okay, let me help you narrow it down. Because maybe you call this girl Louise, and Louise says to you, oh, I really, honestly, Ingrid, I want to have this party, but I can't even think right now. I don't even have a minute to think. So it's like, okay, Louise, let me help you, because I totally get it. So then first I will say to them, when you see yourself doing this party, are you seeing it more as a weeknight or a weekend? So now I'm narrowing it down, right? So she's like, okay, well, weekends are family. I don't do anything on the weekends, or we go camping every weekend. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to look more for a weeknight. Or she might say, you know, my kids are in sports every single night of the week, so I'm going to have to do it on a weekend. Okay, so here we go. We're working towards narrowing it down. All right, Louise, a weekend. So do you see yourself doing an evening, you know, kind of like a party? I'll be in and out and you can continue to party with your friends. Or are you thinking maybe a brunch? I do brunches, or afternoon teas. Like, and it, you know, depending on what works for you, you can offer that to your hostess. And sometimes they don't even realize that there are other options besides a night. And sometimes a week, like a Saturday morning, is brilliant, right? Because friends can get together for a short time and then have the rest of their day or evening to themselves. So you're helping them to narrow it down. So Louise might say, oh my gosh, Monday morning or Saturday mornings would work really good. So then I give them the very next Saturday that I have available, even if it's the one coming up. There are very spontaneous people out there, and I'm going to tell you right now that last minute works really well. So she may say yes, or she might say, whoa, I got to wait a little bit. So then I'll give her the next available. So don't go too far. You're going to book in. So then I'll give her a date. So now I've helped her to narrow it down. Hasn't been that painful. And now she's actually got a date that she's good with. So that has worked well for me. So I love it for you guys to give that one a try. So then the third one is, Louise is like, Ingrid, I have way too much on my plate. I can't even think about doing a show. Okay, so now do we just cross her off our list and say, well, she's not ever going to have a show, so I'm going to cross her off, and not because she just said I can't do a show? Or are we going to take it one step forward and say, oh my gosh, Louise, what's going on, girl? And don't worry, you know, are you thinking like you just don't ever want to have a party, or maybe now's not a good time? No, not ever, or now's not a good time. I'm going to tell you, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come back with now's not a good time. It is not about the fact that they don't want to have a party. Who wouldn't, right? But it is just simply about I can't do one now. I'm just too busy. So then I'll say, that's okay. Like, so what, tell me what's going on that's keeping you so busy? So maybe they're like, you know, I got a wedding coming in, like coming on next month, and I'm swamped. Or, you know, her and her husband are going to Europe for 3 weeks, so I can't even think past that. Or we're in the middle of renovations, our house is torn apart right now, can't even think about it. So great. So now you've got the reasons why they can't think about it right now, and so you can help them to think past that, right? So, Louise, renovations, are you kidding me? This is awesome. We can have a ZYIA party when you're, you know, when you're ready and everything is done. What a great way to show off the house. Or a wedding, oh my gosh, who's getting married? That is so exciting. And so then you're going to say, okay, so when do you see things slowing down? Like she says, the wedding is next month. Is it early? Whatever. You find out, like, when is it going to slow down for them? And then you're going to say, how about I follow up? Some people aren't necessarily going to want to pencil something in, you know, a few months down the road. So if they say, I'm gone for the summer, or, you know, if it's winter time and they're like, we go to Mexico for 2 weeks, well, I'm like, lucky you. So when are you back? How about I give you a call once you're back and we could look at a date then? Because here's the thing, you guys, we need parties every month of the year, right? So you have to create that follow-up log, and you have to put the information about who it is, their contact information, how you know them, why you're following up to call them in February or July or whatever it is, so that when you do follow up with them, you can say, Louise, how are the renovations? I promised you that I would give you a call in August. I'm super excited to hear how the renovations went. So, you know, or the wedding or whatever it is, or how was that trip to Europe? Again, you're building rapport. There's a relationship there. When you show interest in their lives, then there's a deeper connection that happens. And when that deeper connection happens, people are just more apt to look at you as, you know, someone they know, someone they care about, like a friend. And then, you know, we always do want to do things with friends. And so people usually book parties with the reps, not so much for the product, but they, you know, they like you, they trust you. And so that's all part and parcel of building that relationship and that rapport. So again, you know, it's not about not wanting to do the party for a lot of these people. It's just a question of not understanding or not having the time, or feeling overwhelmed, or not just being able to stop in our lives for a minute and actually grab a calendar and look. So it's our job to make that fun and easy and achievable, because it's like, you know what, we have something really great to offer these girls, and that is a fun night with their friends and some awesome, absolutely top quality, premier quality activewear for free or half price. I mean, this is just something that you need to really acknowledge, that you are offering them something really great. So don't be afraid to push a little bit, or to just say, hey, you know, let's follow up then. Let's get this booking, because I want to help you get some really great ZYIA activewear in your wardrobe. So let me help you narrow it down and get that booking. So I really hope that you have learned a couple of things here, and that you have some tips and some what's the word I'm looking for? Some inspiration to pick up the phone, because I'm going to tell you right now that when you're feeling that, you know, that power, that empowerment, that excitement, now is the best time to pick up the phone. So I'm going to challenge each one of you, as you get off this onboarding training video, to pick the 5 top people on your list that want to have a party, and give them a call, and try some of these tips with them. And then please share on the page whether they, you know, if that they worked, because they will, and then let us know how it went, because I just really want to see you guys get out there and be successful in your business, because this is just, you know, this is the best business around. So anyways, thank you all so much. I'm going to stop the recording now, if I remember how to do this, and we will chat again. Thanks, guys. Bye.